I'm laughing because Warren was singing.
You can't call it singing, but I had a tune.
Well, yeah, okay, all right. I know any record producer would laugh, but
yeah,
he was laughing. Anyway, good morning to healthierlife.tv. My name's Paul Bursey, and I'm speaking from Essex in the UK, Whittam. And also with me is...
Oh, yeah, me too, yeah. Hey, everybody. It's Warren here, coming to you from a beautiful, sunny, yet bitterly cold Hungary. It's cold. Wow. Winter's definitely here.
It's cold. Okay. So today's subject, getting older doesn't have to mean getting less healthy. Okay. You can see the theme here, can't you? Because I'm getting older. So what are we talking about here? Well, we're talking about, I suppose, some daily rituals that we basically turn back the clock, I suppose. Yeah. We all need basically to implement a few minor challenges to our routine today, now, and help us look and feel good, and that's what it's all about. And no matter what age you are.
And that's the nice thing. You can do it now. You can start today. You don't have to wait.
That's right. And you could have got it wrong all your life.
And that's okay, because most people do.
Yeah, I think that, I still do things wrong.
Sure.
And in fact, I use to put in my tea, I use stevia. Okay. And my local health shop, in fact, all the health shops of this chain have actually run out of it. So really? I had to go back to sugar. Oh, terrible. So I've had to cut down as well. So am I doing it wrong? Yeah, for me, yeah, because I don't want sugar. There's enough of it floating around elsewhere.
Yeah, elsewhere, yeah.
And because sugar, an excess of sugar is one of those things that will really, get you looking older over time, definitely.
It's funny you should mention about that with tea or with coffee and things like that, because when I used to drink sugar with my coffee all the time, like 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of sugar every cup of coffee, until I stopped drinking coffee with milk and sugar.
Yeah.
And now I can't. If I taste it like no, my taste buds don't like it anymore. So yeah. It's funny you should mention that, because that's something that and it was offered to me recently, and I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah. So look, whether it's discovering your first wrinkle or that grey hair that suddenly appears that you've never had before, and it sprouts from your head, and it does. It's a bit of a shock, isn't it, when you find these things for the first time?
What do you mean? What's like silver hairs and stuff like that, or no hair?
Yeah, they're white hairs. They're not silver. They lose their color pigment, and they look silver because they're with dark hairs. But
I guess they do. But I don't have any dark hairs.
Also, realizing that you get senior discount at your local cinema, your theatre, trains, and buses, and they apply to you, and you didn't realize they applied to you. And he goes, "Why didn't I apply for it?" I even got a £200 heating allowance the other day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's really good. So I felt, it's like I'm still fit enough. I get up and let people sit down because I think they need it. I'm sure that's going to happen to me shortly, but not if I can help it. So yeah. By staying active and being mindful about your food choices, you can help or keep looking good and feeling youthful, no matter how many candles you have to cram in on your birthday cake. So now I need so many candles that I just do one.
Yeah. Once it reached double figures, I'll just stop adding on.
Yeah. So look, I think anyone, as you progress in life, let's put it that way, rather than say getting older, we all would like to know the anti-aging secrets.
As we mature.
But they're not secrets.
No, they're not.
That's the thing. And although we talk about a lot of the same things all the time, people still don't do them. Now that's their choice. But then you can't complain about the little aches and pains you get, you know, and all the other things that go with it.
All the
And
low energy, the lethargy, and brain fog, and all of these things that typically are part and parcel of aging.
yeah,
But doesn't need to be.
no, that's right. And the good news is, at my senior age, I have got 3 immune diseases. Okay, and I think it's important to know I can still run 50 meters in 7.5 seconds. Okay, so you can work with them. So people that have been listening for a long time will know I've got hemochromatosis, which is too much iron in my blood, and I have to give half a litre of blood 4 times a year to keep that on top of that, and try to avoid eating too much greens and spinach and red meat and things like
iron-rich foods. Yeah,
iron rich, and everything's got iron in it. That's the other challenge. Anyway, we're on top of that. I had Raynaud's disease on my hands, changed some things up, and I went out last night refereeing. No sign of Raynaud's disease. Okay.
Just so people know, what Paul's talking about is that he gets the whiteness and numbness in the fingertips, in the last digits, kind of stuff. When it gets
more circulation in the hands.
Yeah, when it gets below a certain temperature.
And you know it as well, but it didn't appear last night. We'll see. Moving on, we'll see whether I can continue doing that. And then I've got I can't think of the name of the arthritis. Not osteo. What's the other one? Well, I know it's problem. I just can't think of it. Where your things go out of shape and everything.
Yeah, your joints, your digits, and your knuckles and things like that.
So that's my new one. It's terrible, isn't it? That's my new one that I'm working on, and I will crack it. Not literally, but I will. I will solve or at least reduce the symptoms down to an acceptable level. See, and it's not too bad at the moment, but I can see my future at the moment if I don't do something about it.
But like you touched on just now, we've spoken about many subjects repeatedly, but from different angles and different points of view and perspective, relating to various subjects. But at the end of the day, whether it's a genetic, congenital, whatever the case may be, there is really there's no finality to anything. There shouldn't be any finality to it. There's always a possibility. There's always an opportunity for a solution of some kind. It is, because if anything is presented, there's always an opportunity for the opposite. Okay, it's irrelevant what it is. You may not have found it yet.
No,
and sometimes, and sometimes, and when we age, these symptoms that we may not even sometimes realize that we have start to crop up, and then we find out, oh, we've got this condition or that condition. But it can be reversed. It can be slowed down. It can be the symptoms can be reduced and minimized as best as possible if you just take the right course of action to reverse that. And I'm in the middle of a conversation with a lady that's going through the same thing. She's not young, okay. I wouldn't say she's old either, but at the end of the day, she has conditions, and she just believes that there's no answers to it, to her conditions, and there are always answers to conditions. It doesn't really matter. There's always something there as a solution to people, whether it be a 100% solution or a partial solution. There's something always available to people. You just got to look for it or find it.
Yeah, it's like having a bad pain. What you want to do is, we want to eliminate it, obviously, but a lot of times we can't. But what we can bring it down is probably from, let's say it's 80% pain, and we try and bring it right the way down to 5 or 10% or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just playing with numbers here, but I think you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's manageable for the body, right? If you're living with a pain threshold of like 85%, continuously, your body's not going to be able to sustain the level of health that is required, and so it's going to be compromised. But if you can reduce the pain, then at least by in excess of 20%, then it's going to make a significant difference in your life. You're reading Rosie's comment.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at the last word she wrote, and it was rheumatoid, and that's exactly what it was, rheumatoid arthritis. Thank you, Rosie. So Rosie says it's the hidden rubbish in our foods which causes all the problems. Strange thing is, I thought the additives were to prolong the life of the food, but food goes bad so quickly. Mindset is key. Always smile and find the funny things in life. She says she enjoys listening to us too.
Thank you, Rosie.
Well, thank you very much for that, Rosie.
Well, if you think about preservatives, think about it like this. And unfortunately, too many folks, they go shopping especially your generation, Paul, your generation and older. You go shopping to keep stuff stored in your cupboards just in case.
I don't.
Okay? No, I'm not saying you do.
No, but I know most people
of your generation do. Okay.
Yeah.
And there you go. You buy foods, and for example, long life milk. Yeah. Okay, that's just one example, but many people do. And if you think about, food is meant to go off for a reason. There's a reason why food goes off.
Yeah.
And it has a natural expiry date. So the fact that you're eating foods that have got preservatives inside of them, that should tell you in itself that, hey, hang on a second, this is not natural. So if it's not natural, then they must be doing something to my body. And the same goes, for example, like cough medicine. I just use as a classic example, cough medicine. When we cough, our body's coughing for a reason, or we need to cough for a reason. It's because the body needs to expel, right? So, and it's like trying to stop somebody from choking to death by getting them to swallow something. No, you want that to come out. The body's going to naturally want to cough it out and expel it, and then you get rid of it. So by taking cough syrup, you're reducing the symptoms of the coughing, and you're suppressing that natural reaction for the body. And what you're doing is you're inadvertently affecting the system. Okay, so the system becomes sick. You may not be coughing anymore, but you're not getting rid of what you need to get rid of. So there's an example of and I'll use that analogy because with preservatives and foods and preservatives, it is rife in our industry today, in our world today. And too many of us are eating so many foods that are just packed with preservatives. And that is not good for our energy levels. It's not good for our cognitive functioning. It's not good for our central nervous system and our ability to feel, sense, these kinds of things. Pain receptors, for example, pleasure receptors. These all get dulled down by all those food preservatives that we're eating. And then some. So this is aging us as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I said, I wrote this thing down that says, I want to turn back the clock. Now, I don't know how far you can do that, of course, but we keep trying, don't we? And so we're going to give you some ideas on how to do that. And then there's nothing new. I'm afraid there's nothing new. And if we do get something new, then we'll say hooray and, move on.
Well, sorry, Paul. Knowing your research, you're probably going to come up with something that I haven't thought of before. So
no, not really. No, I've got to say, I don't think so. Okay. But this is part one, by the way. Part two is going to be next week, and what I found was a quote, and it was, "Don't let aging get you down. It's too hard to get back up." And that's by John Wagner. So I thought it was really good. Well, don't let it get you down, because when you spoke to that lady, she obviously has, over time, it might be many, many years, you get dragged down, you get beaten down, and I think what the key is being aware of your body and how you feel, and you've got to acknowledge and identify when something's not quite right. You need to find out what it is, right? And need to find out what's the best way to deal with it that I can. Sometimes you can't solve it 100%. Yeah. But you can, as you mentioned earlier, you can reduce it down to an acceptable level. So you don't really notice it. And that's the key, I think. We've all got rituals, we've all got routines, we've all got habits. We need to think about tweaking them on occasion or completely changing them around, So let's look at some.
Just before, sorry, Paul. I know you're dying to get onto your list. But another example is I was working with a client last night, and he's been struggling with shoulder pain and hand sensation in his hands, and a lot is to do with what he does professionally. But it's also to do with his sleep. And I've been working on getting him to think about the way he's sleeping and how that's affecting his shoulders and his hands. So if you think about how the body is designed, he sleeps on his side all the time, and then he complains because he wakes up in pain, and his shoulders are in pain and he can't feel his hands. And I'm like, well, that's because you're sleeping on your side all the time. But I can't sleep on my back, because if I sleep on my back, I can't breathe properly. Well, rather sleep on your back so that you're resting your spine and your back and your hips and your shoulders, and then the pain will eventually reduce from that. And then we sort out your sleep, your breathing as in the process at the same time. But most people don't think about these kind of things either, right? So they don't think about the fact that if they're sleeping on their side every night, they wonder why throughout the day they're feeling pain in their hands or their arms and their shoulders, because they're sleeping on the side. But most people don't think about that because they're not aware of these kinds of things.
That's right. I mean, the thing about sleeping on I sleep on my side. I don't have any problems. So, and I've got loads of things wrong. And I think the key is it may not be sleeping on your side. That might just add a little bit on to make it ache in the morning. It could be the other things you're doing during the day that set you up for the achy sleep.
So when you do sleep on your side, that just compounds the issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody's got something wrong, right? You think you look and you see these super fit athletes and all this type of thing. Trust me, everybody has got something they need to work on.
Yeah, even those supermodels on the cover pages, they got something to work on.
Yeah, most of it's walking downstairs and things like that, but they all seem to fall over, don't they, in these high heels and I saw a compilation of videos of models falling over the other day.
Oh, shame. That's not.
Yeah, I won't get into that because I'll get myself in trouble. Anyway, so number one, let's get into the first one. Now, start your day with green tea. I don't, but I have done in the past. I spent a 3-month period where I drunk nothing but green tea during the day, rather than coffee or black tea or other stuff. And I've got to say, I felt great the whole 3 months. Really did. And there were other things I did as well, but and what do we do when we wake up? Well, we've got habits that we do, and it could be for a lot of people have that first cup of coffee and a cigarette in the morning, or just a coffee and something else, and we're not, nobody's saying give up coffee. That's ridiculous. That's not going to happen. We know that. It's like saying giving up tea.
Well, coffee is the third largest commodity sold on the planet.
Also, one cup of coffee a day is really healthy for you. Okay, let's not. But what we do, being humans, we go to excess, don't we? And have 12 cups of coffee a day and things like that. So that's where the problem lies. It's not that first cup of coffee is the problem. All right, and then we think, I've just woken up. I need a bit of a hit, so I'll heat a bit more sugar in. You can see which way it goes. It doesn't mean say don't. I mean, try and have one cup of coffee a day. I'm not a big coffee drinker, but I've done a lot of research on it, and it pays at least to have one. It's like having one small glass of red wine every day.
Yeah.
All right. That's very good, but I would drink.
Who's able to restrict themselves to one small glass of red wine a day?
I need my resveratrol, which you get inside a grape. So I eat grapes. I don't have to eat. I don't have to drink the red wine. Okay, so green tea. Yeah, as I say, it's tempting to do something else, but try it. But the key here is stick with it. It's horrible when you have it for the first time. It's horrible because you're not used to it. It's like the first pint of Guinness. It's the most disgusting thing in the world. First pint of Guinness, after you've drunk about 3 or 4 pints, you actually get used to it.
I love Guinness.
Yeah, no, I can't drink Guinness either because it's got a lot of iron in it.
Yes, of course.
So it's not the biggest hardship in the world, but I do sometimes miss it. But okay, so why is green tea healthier for you? And it helps you keep lean as well. Green tea, because it has inflammation fighting catechins. I think that's how you pronounce it. Catechins. And they're basically compounds found within the the tea and that.
The leaf.
Yeah, the leaf. Yeah, that are linked to lower rates of breast, liver, and digestive cancers, for a better word. Also, great with weight loss and weight management. Funny enough.
Yeah, it is, because green tea does have caffeine in it, like black tea.
Yes,
it has caffeine in it. But it's the antioxidant levels are higher than in black tea.
That's right.
Yeah.
So also regulates blood pressure. Okay, we all need our blood pressure regulated. All right, and some more than others. And the other thing is there's proteins within the catechins, or what they are, that protect the brain from disease. Okay, now obviously, what's the thing we get with our brain? I've forgotten. Sorry.
The thing we get with our brain.
Yeah, with some of the diseases.
Oh, like Alzheimer's.
Yeah, Alzheimer's and things like
dementia,
that.
Dementia, yeah.
Yeah, dementia. If you're interested in that, if you're interested, I don't want that. Then maybe you should consider green tea. And I think that's. That's it about it. There are different flavors, right? You see them with companies like Twinings and things like that, where you have 20 different flavors. So I'm sure there's something in there for you. Okay, but green tea is by far the best.
Yeah, I drink green tea with matcha. So
which one's that?
Matcha. Matcha is a Japanese tea. So
okay.
And I drink that, and it gives you. It's kind of like gives you this this prolonged. It's almost like it's kind of like between the difference between eating potato and sweet potato. Sweet potato, the carbohydrates are released into your system a little bit longer, the sugars. And the same with the matcha tea, with matcha green tea. It gives you this green tea will still give you a bit of a spike, but it gives you more of it's like a gradual spike as opposed to a peaking spike.
Yeah, spikes are most definitely what you want to avoid in anything.
Yes, and matcha tastes nice as well. Matcha tea.
It's a bit like having alcohol or illegal drugs and things like that, because you get this high, but there's also the low to come. What you want is to have. It's a bit like a graph, isn't it? What you want is the top level to go across, right the way across, if you can.
You want to be like a plateau, just consistent.
And a classic example of that type of thing is things like porridge, which are complex carbohydrates that keep your energy high all day, or near enough all day. So that's what we're talking about. So you find different things. So you're not tired one minute and energetic the next. You don't want that. You want something high level all through the day. So that's that one. Okay. So green tea, big tick. Warren?
Definitely a big tick. Sorry, I'm just reading Rosie's last comment.
Oh, right. Okay.
But definitely a big tick. Green tea is most definitely beneficial for our health, but in moderation as well. Again, don't be drinking
absolutely
all day.
Yeah. I like to keep fluttering.
Drink rooibos tea. Drink rooibos tea. That's another very, very potent herbal.
Oh, you told me about that, didn't you? So, is it South African, isn't it?
South African, yeah.
Yeah, so right.
Not because it's South African, but because it is naturally potent.
Right. Okay. Here's a simple one for you. Now, a lot of people want to get in the gym, do loads and loads of work, but as they get older, you put yourself off. You don't go down there. Maybe because you're getting older and you just feel it's a bit too much. Just go for a walk every day. All right. That's it. And then the speed of your walk will be the speed that you want to go. All right. So, and it's important, and it's great for moods and things like that. That's the other thing.
If you go in the evening after dinner, I remember when I lived in Germany in the 90s, mid 90s, and you go out at night time and you see elderly folks walking all over town. And I lived in a small town. They have their dinner and then they go out for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
They either walk the dog or they go out for the walk by themselves as a couple, and they go walk off that dinner. And that they're getting that fresh oxygen in, and they're moving. They're getting their bodies moving before they settle down for the night. And it's walking is, our bodies are designed to walk. Our bodies are designed to some degree to run, not entirely and specific, and not for everybody, but our bodies are designed to walk. And by walking, you're using so many different muscles that are essential for movement and essential for upkeep of your structure of your body. So your body's ability to hold itself up is, and walking is a key activity to do.
Oh, absolutely. I've used it in the past many times, and I always feel good when I come back from a walk. So the great thing is you burn calories. We all need to burn some calories off, and you tone your lower body. That's the other thing. So it's not your upper body, it's your lower body. But
you keep your lower body strong. You keep your lower body strong, which is important
absolutely
for keeping you upright and moving. Yeah.
And the good thing is, because of you go through various stages, you might have a little injury or something, so you don't have to go berserk and walk. But you don't have to create havoc by going for a walk. You can stay fit literally just by doing that, and it's easy on your joints. And you've got the speed of the walk is your choice. And they talk about the speed of the walk can actually predict how long you're going to live. I don't know about that, but it sounds reasonable. But you can go fast pace, you can go leisurely pace. Up to you.
Yeah,
up to you. But they're all good. It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. So just quickly before you get on to the next point, Rosie was asking about CBD oils, and she said perhaps that's for another conversation. Yeah, that is CBD oil is perhaps for another conversation, but just quickly brush over that. Again, it's not a one size fits all. CBD oils work for some people. Sometimes you need various different types of cocktails to be working for people. Depending on what the condition is, what the pain symptoms are, where they originate from, what the history is. So it's not going to necessarily work for everybody, but it does have efficacy, and there are potent or very powerful stories relating to CBD oils. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean it's like diets and things like that. When you've got keto diets and things like that, it doesn't work for everyone.
No,
and you just have to find what works for you. The difference is for CBD oils over here, you don't have THC in it.
Well, that's the whole point of CBD oils.
Yeah, well, but in the USA they have both.
No, but that's for recreational use, and and then medicinal use.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
The recreational use is different. That's because it's legal in the US. Okay,
well, most states.
Yeah. But CBD oils, what Rosie's referring to, is for medicinal purposes.
Okay.
So that's, my best friend who passed away from leukemia, a rare form of leukemia, he was on CBD oils, and this was back in 2016. So in those days, it was still very much a trial and error type of thing, and he had doctors from Spain working with him on different cocktails, formulations of cocktails, and it helped him to some degree. But unfortunately, he's no longer with us. So it's not to discount that. I'm just saying that it's not a one size fits all.
No, that's right. That's right. So when we work with people, you may not get the right result straight away.
Yeah, but no matter how challenging it is, I'll always get that jock strap on you, no matter what.
You think, right? We're not going to find out, though, are we? Right. So next thing is good thing is make most of your mornings. Embracing that early bird could make it easier to stay healthy as you age. It's as simple as that. Study shows that exposure to early morning sunlight to lower your BMI, body mass index. Research identified getting up early as one of the 6 factors proven to increase longevity. I agree with that.
Sure.
I'm biased because I used to be a late night person. and now I'm an early bird, and
Mhm.
definitely not a late night person now. So, but your choice again. So let's move on. Hydration, another big one.
No, I just want to just quickly back to that.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Because when our bodies are designed, again, our biological clock, our what do you call it, Paul? The rhythm, the
circadian rhythm.
Circadian rhythm is
Yeah.
is not designed to be up all night. And this is why, like, I used to work in security in England at one time, and I would be working all the way through the night and then finish at 10 o'clock the next morning, and then I couldn't sleep in the daytime. And I'm the type of person that I could just like that, okay? But I used to struggle to get quality sleep in the daytime. And even for me, it was a struggle because our bodies are not designed for this. Our bodies are designed to be awake in the daytime and then sleep at nighttime. So this is also another reason why it's so important that we become early birds.
Linked to your eyes as well.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
the light. So, no, you're quite right. But I suppose the only answer would be, if you're a shift worker, is work nights all the time.
But even then, it's been shown through research and studies and that their quality of life is not the same.
No.
Yeah.
But again, it's the same as staying up till the early hours. It's again, it's what we can't. It's not a mass across the board, but it's quite heavily slanted towards not doing that at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? So, but anyway, let's move on. Hydration. We talk about that a lot. But for you ladies out there, and for you men who really do care about your skin, okay, this is not the only way, but hydration will give you youthful skin. Okay, so you've got to pay attention to that. Not only that, but it will give you a flatter belly.
Flatter belly, or flatter your belly.
Yeah, it will flatter your belly as well. But and it's an easy addition to your diet, isn't it? Just more water, maybe 2-3 cups a day extra than what you have already. Just try and increase it a little bit.
That reminds me of something I was watching last night when I came home, and the girls were watching this reality show with these guys that do makeovers of men. They do full makeovers for men, but like lifestyle makeover. Okay, so from eating to clothing to hair to home, and they were working on this guy who's a cop, and he doesn't like to drink water. Okay, so he drinks pickled juice. Juice from pickles. And I thought, that must be so bad for his system. His body must be just, man.
Acidic.
Yeah, so acidic. But anyway, yeah, you want to drink water because it's...
Absolutely, yeah. What happens is over time, as you age, you lose moisture from your skin. So it needs to be replaced. When you're younger, it's like everything. You get away with everything when you're young. But what happens is, you start at the front of the race, and as you get age, you get to the back of the race.
Yeah.
Right? And everything's catching up with you.
Yeah.
So if you've been eating processed food all your life, you go, I can eat anything. And we do that when we're young, don't we? We just eat anything.
Well, our body's able to regenerate much faster, isn't it?
Yeah, as well.
Because the cells are growing at a higher rate.
It does catch up on you.
Yeah, because that's when the telomeres were shortened. So
So
for those folks that don't understand, the telomeres, this is a function of the body for the growth cells and stuff like that. So as we get older, those telomeres reduce in size through constant fraying. And once those telomeres start to slow down, it's like the supply line for, let's say, a recovery team. So let's say there's a recovery team in an emergency, and in the beginning, the supply line to that recovery team is strong, and it just keeps going, and they just go and they go, and those guys are working 24/7. They don't get tired, and everything that they need is there. And then if it goes on beyond the desired time frame or the expected time frame, that supply line starts to diminish in size. Those recovery guys and girls, that they start to diminish in their performance and their outcomes and their efficacy. And it ends up, it's like a chain reaction. And this is what happens with us, as Paul touched on. As we get older, that supply line becomes less and less and less and less. and it's less potent. So therefore, if you just keep eating those foods and drinking whatever it is that you've been drinking since your teens or your 20s, then eventually your body's going to just say no mas.
Yeah, I suppose it's a bit like being an emergency mountain rescue team. They've got these big long ropes that they need to abseil down.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, as you get older, the ropes get shorter.
Yeah.
They're going to get to the stage where, sorry, mate, I can't reach you. You've got to stay there.
Yeah.
I'll have to climb down if we're lucky. But the main word to think about when you're talking about hydration and water is replenish. Replenish. That's what you need to do regularly. Little sip, even if you little sips all the time and things like that.
Just keep a bottle.
I look at pints. I look at pints, and sometimes I can't look at that. So you have to have smaller glasses and just have little shots, but they're water. Make out you're in the pub having shots. So okay. Yeah, I mean, it's the other thing is you'll reduce the amount of calories you take in.
Yeah.
Is it 30 minutes before a meal?
30 minutes before a meal, and then you shouldn't be drinking any liquids while you're eating, and up to about 20 to 30 minutes after you've eaten. That's the safer guidelines, and it's
that's a general rule.
Guideline.
General rule, but I mean, if you're in a restaurant, it's going to go out the window, isn't it? So,
but I found through blood testing many years ago in Dubai because I was always feeling weak and sickly and stuff like that, and then I did some testing, had some tests done, and they said that it was because I was drinking too much around my meals, too much water, so I was flushing out all the enzymes in my system.
Yeah.
So as I was eating the foods and that, I was just flushing my system out. So I wasn't allowing the food to do the digestion as it's digesting to do the job properly, and I was just literally just peeing all those enzymes out of my system. And this is what the doctors were telling me at the time. Again, relating to water and hydration, you joke about it, Paul, but that's so effective. Just having a little shot glass of water with you, and you just taking shots of water, because what often people will do is they won't have water, they get thirsty, and then when you're thirsty, you're dehydrated already by the time you're thirsty. They go fill up a glass of water like this, and they down that. Now, what that's doing to the system is it's shocking the system. The system's not ready for that because the system's already dehydrated. So you're shocking the system by downing all that water, and then your body's excluding a lot of that. It's not absorbing all it needs to absorb. Right. Okay, so bit by bit.
Pay attention to the cat.
Pay attention to the cat.
If you watch a cat,
the
cat drinks a lot during the day, but they only do a little bit each time.
Yes. Just sip.
They don't. If you look at, sit. This cat sits by the tap and starts licking the tap. There's no water in it, hardly. They're so used to doing it, it's habit,
Okay.
But then you turn it on a little bit, and they have I don't know, 6 or 7 laps, and they're gone. So have your shot glass ready. Do it that way. So the thing is, if you do that, you won't eat as much as well. So you'll reduce the amount of calories you take a little bit. You'll also lower the amount of sugar, salt, and cholesterol that you eat as well by doing that.
And then the additional knock-on effect from that is that you're allowing your stomach and your digestive system time to rest a little bit, because you're drinking water. You're not feeling the need to pick and to nibble and all these kinds of things and keep eating foods throughout the day. You're allowing your digestive system to relax and just to get some rest, much needed rest. And that also helps to slow down aging as well.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next one is dark chocolate, which means that you haven't got to give up desserts. As we know, desserts have lots of added sugar and things like that. It's my weakest point, desserts and cakes. Ooh, terrible. But there's loads of it. Loads of different things that I like. Again, what you should do is find these bars of chocolate and 95% I think that's the highest I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I used to eat higher than that even of chocolate because it's really real proper dark chocolate is really bitter, but it's very takes away your pangs for sugar.
Oh, all you need is one square of the, and I've had, where did I
Yeah.
get it from? Somebody brought it from Peru for me, and it was 99% cocoa,
Yeah.
dark chocolate, the cocoa.
Mhm.
And all you need is you just need one square of that, and
Yeah.
then you're done. You don't, yeah.
And over a period of time, it takes your cravings for sugar away.
Sure, yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I know it sounds bleak to think about cutting out desserts and things like that. And
But
of course, when
sugar
we go to
is,
that restaurant, we're probably still going to have it.
of
But
course, and that's
what
fine.
we're talking about is the other 6 days.
Yeah, 95%, 99% of the time we're sitting at home or somewhere out on the road, and we consuming sugar every day. Now,
Yeah.
sugar, and again, we've spoken about this, haven't we? It's more addictive. It's more addictive than cocaine,
Yeah.
and there's a reason for that, because it does more damage to the. It's there to do more damage to the body and the brain, and especially over long periods of time. Yeah, you if you're consuming sugar every day, that just has such an impact on our brain, not just the body but the brain. The brain starts to become brittle and less, the less lucid and fluidy in its consistency. And over time, that all those sugar compounds on the brain, it coats the brain, the sensory neurons, and then we start to develop certain conditions that have become more and more prevalent in the last 15 to 20 years or so in society as we age.
So why is dark chocolate good for us? Really, it's all about antioxidants, and flavonols, and things like that, because it's linked with reduction of blood sugar and body fat. Okay, and we're talking about the body fat from the bad fats. Okay, not the good ones like extra virgin olive oil. And it can improve brain health as well, which is very important. Memory is another one. If you want to keep mentally and physically fit as you get older, have a little bit of dark chocolate, real proper dark chocolate, or as close as you can get to it. So, okay, we all right with that one?
Sure.
Great. Now you're gonna cover this a little bit. All right, I'll let you talk. Because I do. We obviously both want to talk, and sometimes we not talk over each other, but we're so enthusiastic about it that we don't allow the other person to get in, and I'm terrible for that. So
no, you're not. It's this is, and we've spoken about this before, Paul.
Yeah.
You're the director of this conversation.
Yeah, I know,
but you're the pilot. That's what it is. You're the pilot of the conversation. But this is what a conversation is about, right? It's not about talking over somebody else. It's about adding value when the opportunity is there. And sometimes if I wait, or if you wait, the opportunity is passed, and then it's too late to come back to that. So sometimes we just need to interject in order to optimize that opportunity.
It's a bit like the commercial airliner, isn't it? When before you take off, they go through this practice thing, don't they? And I'll go through a look at everything, and you need 2 people to do that.
Yeah.
So, okay. So the next thing is find some inner peace. Now, how would you do that?
Run away from all your problems.
No. Apart from compartmentalizing.
Yeah. No. Hey, I mean, look, again, this is from my own experience and from people that I work with directly, indirectly. And for me, the best tools for finding inner peace are meditation, first and foremost, being out in nature every single day, even if it's just for 10 minutes. And another great way to find inner peace is when you're dealing with people and you're engaging with others on a regular basis, as many of us like to do, just listen. Because when you choose to listen to other people, you find so much inner peace. You really do. If you're not if you're not that invested in trying to express yourself all the time or have your opinion be heard all the time, and while you're listening to somebody talking, wanting to interject, like, and it's contrary to what I've just said to Paul now, but this is for a different reason. But if you're talking with people, if you're around people all day long or part of the day and there's conversation going on, just listen to people talking, and you'll really find inner peace in yourself, because you're not constantly thinking about what you want to say next. You're just allowing the conversation to flow and take its course. And I use that example in terms of a practice for finding inner peace, because this is what we find ourselves with. This is what we're confronted with every day, interacting and dealing with other people.
It's called conversation generosity.
Conversation generosity.
Yeah. I can't remember where I got that from. It's either from The Magic Thinking Big or How to Win Friends and Influence People, I think. But it's one of those. One of the big books on personal development. Zen. What do you know about Zen?
Zen is a state of mind. It's that place where you feel that you have no attachment to the external world or to labels, and it just gives you, again, peace of mind, because you're not labeling things every time you look at something or you hear somebody or you hear something. You're not putting a label to it. You're not influenced by your external environment. You're only influenced by your own internal environment. And that brings you peace of mind through Zen.
And it actually help you lose weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you're looking to do is just decrease stress levels and stop the cortisol surges, that happen. So that's a hormone you need, but you don't want a lot of it. So, and of course, and again, because you take, less calories, you're going to be eating, you're going to be slimmer, you're going to lose excess belly fat and everything. So we all get thrown off our game. We're always out of sorts on occasions.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally, because I meditate, I think it's brilliant. But that's my opinion. So I've got another little quote for you. And as we get older, we become more honest and don't have the patience for pointless drama.
Yes, yeah.
That probably, to me, sums up meditation in a nutshell.
Yeah, and if you look in recent studies that have been conducted around the world with schools, where they've introduced meditation as a weekly practice for the kids, and then in some cases it's every day.
Yeah.
In kindergartens they do meditating. In primary schools, high school, and in high schools they typically will do it with those troubled kids, the ones that are lagging behind academically or they are troublesome. They've introduced them to meditation, and then they notice a significant turnaround in their performances, and just their peace of mind, their disposition changes. And this is the same for us as we get older. It's important that we take note of that, and we practice reducing those levels of stress, as you say, the cortisol levels.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, at the end of the day, what's it going to take? It's going to take. You can meditate in 5 minutes. You can meditate in 20 minutes. You just pick what you want to do, what you find works for you, and it just turn everything off.
Mm-hmm. Distractions off. Yeah.
Do it yourself without any headache. I prefer guided meditation, which means you listen to someone. That's me.
And that's a great way for people to start.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if you're going to start doing it, and it takes a bit of time to get used to it. I mean, when you first do it, you just don't relax. You just don't, because you're not used to doing it. But gradually, you learn to love it.
And then you don't need more than 15 to 20 minutes a day. You really don't.
No. As I say, sometimes I've got a little one that I use, which is 3 minutes.
Okay.
Another one's 5 minutes and things like that. So sometimes when you've got to be somewhere, you still want to do your meditation. You can still get there, and you're saying, I've done meditation.
Yeah.
And other ones, you could do it for half an hour. So YouTube's a great place to find those.
Look, guided meditations are different where you get guided meditations where you can listen to while you're sleeping. So that's all night. You can be listening to guided meditation. But there's a difference between a guided meditation and the power or the efficacy of doing a guided meditation for say 3 minutes or all night, for that matter, compared to when you're just meditating by yourself, mindlessness meditation, where you're just not thinking of anything. And if you are meditating just by yourself, then you don't need to do more than 15 to 20 minutes. No. You truly don't.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's us done for today. That's the first half done anyway.
Yes.
We'll cover the second half next week, and hope it's been useful, and
it has. Thank you.
Yeah. So with that, you got any questions, please ask them like Rosie did, or I'll
added some
statements or whatever you want to do. It really doesn't matter what how you do it. If you need
pleasure, Rosie.
Yeah. If you need to talk to us at all, just talk to us through this page, and we'll get in contact with you. I'm quite happy to converse with people. So with that, have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic rest of the week.
Yes, please
try one of those things, or improve on one of those things.
Especially the dark chocolate.
Oh yeah. So go down to your local health shop. Even supermarkets have got at least 85% healthy chocolate. So rather than those Mars bars and candy and all that type of stuff. So we'll speak soon. See you next week.
Ciao.
Bye. See you later.